What is up, guys? Long time no see, considering that I don't see you and you don't see me. It's now 19 here, and ever since Arrow ended, I've been rewatching every episode of the season just to add all the puzzles that have been added throughout the season. Halfway through watching Season 2, I decided to share my thoughts about this season, how good it was, and some of my favorite moments, episodes, and characters. So that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be longer than usual. Just sit back, relax, and listen to my ideas. So here's the layout for what I'm going to be discussing. First off, with a brief recap of everything that happened this season, my thoughts on everything, and right down to my Arrow awards. Top 10 episodes, characters, and moments. So this episode picks up from the last 5 months after the undertaking. The Glades is ruined, crime is at an all-time high, and the city is just hurting. Coming back from hiding, Oliver refuses to put back on the hood.
I told you, I did not come back to Starling City to be the vigilante.
4 men who were affected by the earthquake, called the Hoods, take their suffering to the Queen name after attacking Oliver at Queen Consolidated and kidnapping Thea at Verdant. Oliver, as the Hood, goes to save his sister, and instead of killing the Hoods, he decides not to kill them. After that, Oliver doesn't want to be called the Hood and just stares at his green arrowhead as a nod that he wants to be called the Arrow. Not Green Arrow, just the Arrow.
So what do you want to be called?
In the wake of his new crusade to be a hero, Oliver comes across Sara Lance, who we all thought died after the Queen Gambit sunk, but apparently survived and was on board a ship helping Anthony Ivo, a scientist that wanted to save the human race. It is revealed after Sara quote-unquote died again, she became part of the League of Assassins. After fighting without killing, a new threat comes to his attention: Cyrus Gold, a man who has super strength. Oliver tells his team that he has seen men with that ability before. On the island, Ivo came to the island in search for a serum from World War II that gave men increased strength and also heightens their senses. Oliver, Shadow, Sara, and Slade came across the serum and used it on Slade to save his life after suffering from severe burns on his face. Slade dies. Ivo arrives in the sub and takes Oliver, Shadow, and Sara outside. Ivo gives Oliver an ultimatum: choose who lives and who dies in 30 seconds. Oliver chooses Sara, and thus Shadow dies. However, back in the sub, Slade wakes up with Mirakuru in his system, vowing to kill whoever kills Shadow, but he doesn't know that Oliver chose to save Sara. Back in present day, Oliver kills Cyrus Gold and confronts a new villain, the Man in the Skull Mask, who is really Sebastian Blood, an alderman who is running for mayor. It is also revealed that Slade is alive in present day and tells Sebastian that he plans on destroying the Arrow. After that, Oliver hunts down the skull and trains Roy on how to control himself after being exposed to the Mirakuru. Sara returns due to the fact that the League was hunting her for leaving and drags Nissa Al Ghul, daughter of Ra's al Ghul, to Starling City. Moira announces that she's running against Sebastian in the mayoral race, and Slade reveals himself to Oliver in present day.
Pleasure to meet you. As the Queen.
Back on the island, Slade learns that Oliver chose to save Sara instead of Shadow and turns against him, making them mortal enemies. After Slade's house visit, he captures Thea only as a distraction so that he can get his hands on Ironhide prisoners to be a part of his army. To do so, he needs a centrifuge so that he can transfer the Mirakuru to the men. It would have been supplied by Queen Consolidated after Isabel Rocha, former flame of Robert Queen, ripped the company from Oliver, but Oliver and his team destroyed the Applied Sciences division. After that, Slade kills Moira so that Sebastian can become mayor and begin their attack on the city, and also hurts Oliver. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention. Slade succeeds in transferring the Mirakuru to the Iron Heights prisoners by stealing a more advanced centrifuge from Star Labs. With the Mirakuru army attacking the city, Team Arrow has an advantage on their side, which is the Mirakuru Cure, which was created by Star Labs and which originated from Anthony Ivo. Ivo tells Oliver and Sara that he couldn't recreate the Mirakuru, but he came across a cure to counteract the effects of Mercuro.
Ivo, what are you saying?
The miracle. There's a cure.
In the end, Oliver teams up with the League of Assassins to cripple Slade's army. Felicity and Laurel kidnapped, but Felicity was kidnapped so that she can give Slade the cure, which succeeds, and Slade is defeated. Foreshadowing to the next season is included, showing that Laurel will become the new Canary.
I think that this would look good on you.
Thea joining her real father, Malcolm Merlyn.
Don't try to find me. You won't. Even I don't know where I'm going.
And Oliver being an agent of Argus.
Welcome to Hong Kong.
Now onto my thoughts on this season. This season outshined the first with the story they were following. So many secrets were revealed. The fact that Thea was Merlyn's daughter was one of the biggest secrets.
Learning that Thea is my daughter.
So many people found out Oliver's secret towards the end of the season. Isabel, Sebastian, Moira, Roy, Laurel, Barry. It was just who knows Oliver's the arrow kind of game being played. The story this season just really shows us how Oliver is trying to be a hero, how he can help the city without dropping bodies. His major conflict this season was the whole no killing motto he had. When it came down to ordinary villains, he wouldn't kill them, but with Cyrus Gold appearing, he really shifted gears and was like, no, forget the no killing motto, this guy has to die, and I understand why he has to die. The people this season that Oliver killed had a reason to be killed. He really killed only 2 people this season, being the Count and Cyrus Gold. However, when Slade was present, Oliver did not hesitate to kill him, and I also understand that as well. The man threatened to destroy everything that he loved for, and that he won't die until he knows complete despair. But it really wasn't that. Oliver didn't have any other options on how to stop Slade until he brought up the cure. With the cure, he could, atone for not curing Slade in the first place, but in the season finale, even though he had the cure, he was going through this internal conflict with himself with whether he should kill Slade or cure him. And that's also another aspect I understand as well. First, you have the fact that Slade killed his mom, how he can't control the League of Assassins from killing, especially since they sort of reflect Oliver's dark side because they have bows and arrows. And the fact that Slade kidnapped the woman he loved and threatened to kill her. He felt that it would be better for him just by killing Slade, but found another way thanks to Felicity. And this season wasn't just a change for Oliver, it was also a change for Sara as well. She came back to Starling City mainly because she wanted to make sure her family was safe after the earthquake. But her other reason was because she was done being an assassin and overkilling. However, through the course of the season, she sort of goes on through this on-off switch with herself about no killing, yes killing. After being released from the League, she wants to kill Helena, then is calm for a good few episodes. Then she wants to kill Roy. She didn't realize that she's a killer, always will be, and leaves town. Sheila comes back during Slade's attack on the city, and after Slade's attack is over with, she leaves with the League. So it was really confusing for me to understand that last part. The whole season she didn't want to go back to the League, or she was done being an assassin, and now she wants to go back to the League after she was being called a hero by that one police officer and that little pep talk that Laurel and her had in the alley. It really just didn't sink in. And now that I'm on the topic of the character story arc this season, I also didn't like Thea's. I couldn't stand Thea in the first season, but ever since Malcolm revealed that Thea is his daughter, I sort of got interested in Thea this season, and I wanted to see how she would handle that truth. However, how she handled it disappointed me. After knowing that she wasn't Robert Queen's daughter, she started saying, I'm Malcolm Merlyn's daughter, but when Malcolm came for her, she didn't want anything to do with him. I would have thought she would have been glad to at least know she still has family, because Oliver is really the only family she has left, despite if, they have cousins or not, and despite that Oliver has a child. And I just really would have thought that she would have been cool with the fact that Merlin is still alive and that she still has family, but despite that, Merlin being an assassin, being that he destroyed the city, I would understand why she didn't want anything to do with her, because really everybody in her life has secrets, and it's really confusing for her to not know. It's really frustrating for her to not know the truth about all these secrets. I mean, she found out all of Moira's secrets. She doesn't know that Oliver is the Arrow, and she didn't know that Merlin was still alive and that he's part of the League of Assassins. But I'm not too disappointed with the fact that she left with Merlin at the end of the episode, the season's finale. So hopefully her story arc next season doesn't disappoint me. As for everyone else, this season I really love their story arcs. Everyone has evolved, especially Laurel, and hopefully they'll continue to keep evolving. Now it's time for my Arrow Awards, starting off with my top 10 episodes. Every episode this season was great and unique in its own way, but I picked 10 episodes that I thought stood out. In the order of good to the greatest of all time, starting with number 10 is Keep Your Enemies Closer. Really loved Diggle and Deadshot's moments and traveling to Russia. I really wanted Oliver to suit up as the Arrow while in Russia. That would have been awesome.
For thought, John. Food for thought.
Number 9 is Blind Spot. Laurel really killed it this episode.
I swear to you, Sebastian Blood is dangerous. And you're the only person in the city who can stop him.
Number 8, Crucible. The episode that Sara comes back and when the mayor is in office. 7 is Seeing Red. 6 is Birds of Prey. This is like the first official Team Arrow episode when the whole team is together. We have Felicity, Diggle, Oliver, Sara, and Roy all working together. 5 is The Promise. 4 is Deathstroke, another Team Arrow episode. Tremors is 3rd, and I really liked the whole Goy story arc that was going on that whole episode. And I also like how Oliver was training Roy the same way Shadow was training Oliver on the island. So that was pretty cool. 2 is Unthinkable. And my number 1 most favorite episode, the greatest of all time this season, is Streets of Fire. You cannot say that that episode was the best episode this season just because of how the city looked, like how overrun it was with Slade's men. You know, you have masked men tearing through the city, like running, chasing after people. It was just crazy and mayhem, and I just really loved it. Now it's time for top 10 moments this season. So most of these moments are either going to be like Felicity moments, fights, or pretty much just anything else. So I'm going to start with number 10 again. Number 10, Oliver wants to be called the Arrow. Number 9, Barry Allen gets struck by lightning. Number 8, Felicity, bitch with Wi-Fi.
Bitch.
Bitch with Wi-Fi.
7, Felicity, if the Huntress shows up, I think you should totally kick her ass.
What do you guys think?
Oh, I think if the Huntress shows up, you should totally kick her ass.
6, Moira dies. 5, Oliver's training on the island montage in The Promise. 4, Slade's what's happening to me in episode 12, Tremors.
What is happening to me? I am not going to let you go through it on your own.
3, Oliver and Felicity, I Love You in the season finale.
Love you.
Number 2, Oliver vs. Slade in the season finale, past and present. Number 1, Team Arrow vs. Slade's army in the tunnel. Now, let's move on to the top 10 characters. Most of these characters are going to be ones that aren't the main cast. Obviously, Oliver, Felicity, and Diggle, and so on. Number 10, Deadshot. Number 9, Bronze Tiger. Number 8, Sara Lance. Number 7, Roy Harper. Number 6, Malcolm Merlyn. And even though he was only in this season for a couple of times, he still gets to be called one of the top 10 characters this season. Number 5, Sebastian Blood. Number 4, Barry Allen. Number 3, Isabel Roshev, aka Ravenger, aka Rose Wilson. Number 2, Anatoly. And the number 1 character this season, obviously, is Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke. So yeah, that concludes this Season 2 review. But what did you guys think about Season 2? Did you like it as a whole? Or did you just didn't like it? And I don't see how you couldn't like this season. So now that, you know, Season 2 is over, I'm gonna start making more bonus videos. The next bonus video is gonna be Season 3 predictions, and comment below this video and tell me some of your predictions. You know, what's gonna happen next season? What do you think is gonna happen next season? I'm also gonna start doing some Flash bonus videos. Be sure to check those out. The first Flash video I'm trying to get together is Season 1 predictions. So just be sure to look out for those 2 videos in the coming future. Subscribe to my channel. Well, both of my channels, Jedi Knight 450 and this one, Nightwing 19, for more videos. Right now you can watch my review for The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and my review for The Unthinkable. Subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.